I was just going to give some of you a little bit of an insight into formatting and adjusting text within Microsoft Blackboard after uploading from Word to, say, a discussion board post, which is what I'm going to be doing here. What I have here in front of me is my reply to one of my fellow students that I'm going to upload as a discussion board reply. I've intentionally kind of got the formatting jacked up just a little bit because sometimes when you copy and paste from PDFs or from the internet, this is the kind of stuff that you get. I know you can go into Word and you can correct it, but what happens generally whenever you go in and correct it, then when you transfer it over to your discussion board, Blackboard changes it. It's no longer the same. So we're just going to start kind of a worst case situation and go forward from there. So let's copy this, the whole thing. And then we're going to go to our discussion board and we're going to reply. Vivian, I hope you don't mind being in my video. You've made it. Not that it matters. First thing we're going to do is put this in full screen mode. And then we're going to paste it. And here is what you saw typed up in Word. The difference is, if you remember in Word, I had a video, not a video, a image right here. It didn't come across. That's one of the things that happens. Images don't come across with copy and paste. But we're going to get it in here too. I'll show you how to do that. First thing we want to do is correct all the text. So we're going to select everything, Control A, and then we're going to remove all formatting. This little eraser looking thing right here will take care of that. We're going to click it once, twice, 3 times, and one more for the 4th time. While we got everything highlighted, we're going to remove the hyperlinks. So this broken chain here, we're going to remove the links. So now you see there's nothing underlined in blue font. Let's select everything again, Control A. Now we want to make all this double spaced. And the way we do that is we go to the CSS box, click it. We're going to go to line height, come over. We're going to use a value. Click back in the same box, we're going to put 2, that's for double space. And we're going to come down to EMS. I really don't know what any of this means, I just know that it works because I searched for it last year. So now everything is double spaced. Some of this says more than, you can see here that there's more than one space between them. We're going to fix all that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and shrink this back down. We're going to save it as a draft. And you'll see why we did that, I believe. When we come back, we're going to save it as a draft. Scroll down. And we're going to open it back up. We may have to do this a couple of times. We're going to edit it again. Let's maximize it. Now we're going to click here, delete. And what I should have done first, I usually just put 10 spaces in here. Tab really doesn't work as well as I would like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to select this, Shift Home, Control C. That has all of our spaces. This is a new paragraph, Control V. Let's drop down and do all these while they're still easy to pick out. Control V. Control V. Control V. Control V. And that's all the text within the body of our post. Alrighty, we're going to come here, delete this, let's pull everything back in so it all looks nice and double spaced. This is where the image goes, so we're going to leave ourselves a little room there. So that one, go ahead and fix this while we're looking at it. Now here we can align everything, center it up. We'll come back to this stuff in just a minute. We'll go ahead and get everything double spaced for now though. Sometimes you got to hit delete more than once to get it to move. I think there must be some extra characters in there that we really can't see or something. Maybe a space, maybe a tab. All right, there we go. Got all of our references pulled in like we want them. We'll go ahead and put this image in. There was a question a while back on Facebook in our group. Someone was asking about how to go about getting images, collecting them out of a PDF. I'm just going to show you the easiest way to really do it. It only requires one program and it's not that difficult. This is a tool that comes with Windows. It's called a snipping tool. Yours probably isn't there. You can go down here and type in snipping and it'll show up. Then you can pin it to your start menu if you want to. But anyway, snipping tool is selected. All right. But my image is in this PDF. Let's bring the snipping tool back on top. We want a new snip. Notice it kind of turned gray behind it. That's what we want to see. We're going to start in one corner, go diagonally across to the other, opposite corner. So, okay. And we want to save that. Save this thing. Where's my mouse? Just a dot. Let's save it. And this just happens to be the folder that I'm working in. We're going to just call this one off. You can see I've got it saved twice up there already from past things. We're going to call this Table 3. Save. All right, we can close this out now because we're through with it. Now let's go back to our discussion board post. We'll go ahead and make this active right in here where we're going to put it. You see the cursor flashing. Right here is where we insert an image. We're going to browse. And we are in MHP 855, week 3, discussion board 2. And remember that was table 3 right here. Let's open it. Insert. Now I don't know why it did that. It's never done that to me before. This is worthless. Right click. Cancel. Delete. Let's start over again, but it shouldn't take but a minute. Right here. Back to the snipping tool. Make sure that's pulled up. New. Let's get this on up out of the way. We don't want that happening again. New snip. Save the snip. And we just click on number 3. You can go right back where it was. Yep, we do. Close this out. Come back to our post. We're active in the right spot. Insert this image. You would think it would save it where we were, but it didn't go there. So back to the same week, same folder, discussion, table 3. Insert. Much better. We're going to right click it now because it's just, to me, it's too big. Some of you may like big stuff. That's just too big. We're going to edit it. Actually, we may not have to. I see the little dots on here. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes they don't. We're going to have to do it anyway. Edit and cancel. Now we can edit. And just make it look like it should fit. Good deal. We'll center it. We'll click on this and center this row of text under it. And okay, now we have our image in. We've got all of our paragraphs indented to kind of give a APA look to it. We got an extra space here. Let's get rid of that. I do believe there's probably some extra spaces down here. Let's try deleting anything below. Ah, not only that, there's another reference down there. There we go. All right, let's shrink this back. Save the draft. Okay, it's looking better. I think the table fits pretty good. We'll double check and make sure that that's really the way they end. All right, everything looks good. Now we need to get these references straightened up, okay? I'm going to edit again. I know it looks crazy going back and forth on the editing, but there's usually some little nuance that you missed, and it takes a couple of save draft and edits before you get it just right. Okay. Now what will happen sometimes, if I was to just go right over here and start putting in spaces, there's a good chance it would actually put these spaces up here and not down here. That gets to be very frustrating. But I really don't want it to be this far out anyway. The reason for that is because whenever you get into the 800 classes, they expect this to be pretty much spot on. They don't want you just throwing something in here. When you get there, you'll understand what I mean. That's the real reason I'm doing this. It's not necessarily for this epidemiology class. I'm trying to give you something for a little bit later on to use. All right, but before I put these spaces in, I just realized something I haven't done. I don't have any italicized fonts in here. So what I need to do is, I know that this is the publication that it's in. We're going to go through and italicize all that needs to be italicized. Now, if you don't go through, I'll go and tell you this. If you don't go through and remove all the formatting, and you highlight and you hit Control-I to italicize, it changes the font. It changes the size a little bit, and the italics really doesn't match the type of font that you've got. So that's why I've done what I've done so far. You'll just have to take my word for that. Okay, this is the publication. Italicize it. Publication. Not retrieved. Italicize it. Italicize. Okay, this is the New England Journal of Medicine. Let's fix this real quick. All right, this is a big one. And I know that this is called this 2009 epidemiology stuff, version 1. And then we have the World Health Organization and this publication. Okay. Now everything is italicized. There's something I'm forgetting. It will come back to me in a minute, I hope. All right, we're going to come right here. We're going to hold down the Shift key and hit Enter. When you do that, it allows you to start editing at this line. We're going to put in 10 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to copy those and just reuse them. Okay. One of the things I'll point out is that I may actually be over too far, but they're not too picky in this class. About 3/4 of the way across this maximized screen is a good place to start where you want to do the Shift Enter. And that way it makes the text look like it's almost all the way across the screen. Whenever you submit these discussion boards later on in the 800 classes, I've been counted off several times because I've actually dropped back over into here somewhere and done it just to make sure that I get this spacing over here. I like it, this hanging indent. Well, they want the hanging indent, but they also want the long line to look like it goes almost all the way across the page. So there's your heads up for that. This one stops at a good place, good place, good place. Right about here, we'll try to get these to line up and hold down the Shift and Enter. I've already copied those 10 spaces, so we're going to paste them. All right, we're going to come right here. Oops, don't want that to happen. Shift Enter. Go ahead and do that. All right, now this is one of those fun ones where you've got this long line that goes all the way across on its own. We know that we're going to end up using maybe just a little less than half. Let's try getting right here in front of sheet. We'll see how that looks. Shift Enter. Not too bad. All right. Control V. And the last one, the World Health Organization. It looks good. All righty. So then, let's shrink this back down one more time. Save the draft. This is what it's going to look like. I know what I didn't look at. See, here's the problem right here. I need to cut that off after study. You see how it did this little jog? That'll cost you about 2 or 3 points in the 800 classes, okay? Not a big deal if you're making 100s, but if you're not, that's something you need to look at. So right here on this one, we need to do prevent tuberculosis. We need to do this after 2009. And we need to do something here. So once we go up here, we can look at it after study. See, this is why you want to do save draft. Because once you submit this, you can't do anything. You're stuck with what you got. But if you save draft, you can kind of look at it. The other thing, yeah, right here, all these are stopping good. That's a good width on that particular table. Okay, so right after study, you always want to be right at the beginning of the word too. Otherwise, it'll throw an extra space on you that you're not prepared for. We'll Shift Enter. We should still have those 10 spaces. Yep. That's going to take several deletes here. Oops. Okay, so this one should be good, 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 good. So I recall this one cut us off between prevent and tuberculosis. Do that. Put those 10 spaces in. Okay. This one cut us off between the 2009 and epidemiology. Shift and enter. Control V. Delete this. That. We can probably get to right here, just past Rutgers, or Rutgers, excuse me. Okay. Right here between the 20 and instructor. All right, there's that. Yeah, this one didn't look right a while ago either. Not real sure about getting there. We're going to get between 28 and January. Okay. But all this other text up here in the body of what you're writing, all of that will flow like it should, because there's nothing fancy going on there except your very first line, and it's always going to indent. Everything else will follow. All right, so let's shrink this down. Let's save draft again. Okay, what do we look like? Much better, much better. Okay, so that is pretty much the way it should look. I'm debating over whether I'm really going to submit this or wait until Monday night. I haven't seen any grades yet, but you know what? I'm probably going to go ahead and submit it anyway, because I've pretty much got all the information in here that I need. I don't think that they're going to count up on any of these references. I feel pretty good about my citations up here. Let's see, let me make sure. Yeah, I got a citation, another citation, citation, citation. We've got this showing where we're getting it from. And look, y'all can look at that. That doesn't mean that that's true APA format, but based on what I've been reading in the virtual office, they really don't care too much about this. They were saying something about as long as it's not published, it's not a big issue. So we're going to leave it like that. That's enough to show where I got it. I'm comfortable with that. And if it costs me 1 point, 2 points max, I'm good. I'll be okay. I won't cry about it. I just want to be done and move on. All right. Okay. I think that's it. So what I've got to do at this point then is hit edit one more time. And heck, why not? We'll submit it. There we go. All right, Ms. Vivian. I have replied to your post. I hope this helps some of you. Like I said, this is more for the 800 classes than this epidemiology class. Mainly just getting all this right in here right. I hope this helps. Y'all take care. Later.